Welcome to Prepare to Practice, the LexisNexis Professional Research Certification.
This is Zachary Gibbons, and I'm your Lexis instructor. During your time in law school, you've no doubt begun to familiarize yourself with the art of legal research. The question, though, is are you ready to practice law? An independent study commissioned by Lexis sought to find that out. 300 litigation and transactional hiring partners and managing associates from firms both small and large were asked about the readiness of new attorneys. And here is what they said. 95% stated that new graduates lacked practical transactional skills. 50% reported they lack practical drafting experience. In fact, hiring partners and managing associates believed that only 5% of law school graduates had enough practical skills to carry out work. So, why does this matter? As a new associate, you can expect to spend between 40 and 60% of your time conducting online legal research. Additionally, on average, it will cost a firm $19,000 in their first year to train a new associate to proficiency. It really is no wonder that 88% of hiring partners have stated that they believe that proficiency in paid-for research is highly important. So, are you ready? I can personally say I was not. For those of you who don't know, I graduated from Vanderbilt Law School in the spring of 2014. So my time interning for the state attorney's office in Florida and the office of the Naval JAG Corps is in the not-so-distant past. During my internships, I was assigned a range of different tasks. The most common and the ones for which I was least prepared, though, were researching an area of law which I was unfamiliar with, researching statutes and regulations, and drafting pleadings. These are, in fact, the most common summer research jobs based on a survey we gave to 2,500 law students last summer. So in this video, I will teach you practical skills you'll need to be successful at these three common types of research assignments and help ensure that not only are you prepared to practice, but that you'll stand out as a part of that 5% that is proficient. So, while the answer to the question, are you ready, may be no now, it won't be for long. So let's get to it. This summer, you're interning at a local law firm who specializes in family and employment law. It's your first day, and you've been told to report to your supervising attorney's office. Pen and paper in hand, just a little tip, never go empty-handed. You're going to want to take notes. You dutifully head to her office. New associate, she says, we have a potential client. He believes that his right to leave under the Family and Medical Leave Act of 1993 was violated. I need a memo on my desk tomorrow morning outlining the leave requirements of the FMLA. Back at your desk, you begin to wonder, where do I even begin? Best place to start any new research assignment is in a treatise. Treatises are written by experts and provide a comprehensive look at a specific area. As many of you have heard me say before, it's like sitting down for coffee with a professor. You just don't have to sit down with coffee for a professor. Now, Lexis provides leading treatises in more than 50 areas of practice that can't be found anywhere else. Treatises that can help you understand the fundamentals of an issue, as well as pointing you to important primary materials. Now, getting started is easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Search. 2. Secondary materials. 3. Select treatises. So, let's begin by crafting our search. We're interested in the FMLA and leave requirements specifically. So we'll go ahead and type that in, run our search. And now, in an area in which you're unfamiliar, it's almost always the right call to start in secondary materials. And since we're looking for treatises, this is where we should be. So we'll come down, select treatises to narrow specifically to treatises. And you'll see here under the source list that Lexis provides you a multitude of sources across jurisdictions that can help you better understand your topic. Right now, though, we're going to go ahead and narrow down specifically to labor and employment law This is a definitive and a complete guide on all labor and employment issues, and a great resource. Now, from here, we'll go ahead and start looking specifically to the titles of the chapters to find that one that specifically will be useful to us. You'll notice as we come down, we see right here, family and medical leave requirements. Sounds like exactly what we're searching for, so let's go ahead and access this document here. And we'll see that this secondary material will provide us with the purpose of the Family and Medical Leave Act, its effective dates, who's covered, prohibited acts, and specifically what we're looking for right here, family and medical leave requirements. So now you have the information that you need to draft your memo. And additionally, by using these footnotes here, you'll see by clicking 17 or, for example, 18, you can grab that primary material that you can insert into your memo to better support your assertions. So, now when you're faced with an unfamiliar topic, you'll know that finding a quick, clear, and complete explanation of the practice area is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Run a search. 2. Access secondary materials. 3. Narrow to treatises. Now, your supervising attorney was impressed by the speed in which you completed your assignment and the thoroughness of your memo. She wants you to continue working with her on this issue. In a follow-up email, she asks you to find out what the phrase "in order to care for" means under 29 USCS 2612, or as we know it, the Family and Medical Leave Act, as well as any relevant regulations. Now, statutory research does not need to be as daunting as everyone makes it out to be. All you have to do is remember SRAC. S stands for statutes. We're going to want to retrieve it and read the text and its annotations. R are your regulations. This is where you'll find the rules created by agencies who have the force of law, which can clarify and expand on your statute. A is administrative materials. These are decisions and guidelines that provide interpretations of your statute. And C is for cases. We're going to find those that interpret and imply what we found above. So, putting into practice, let's pick up where we left off. You can search specifically for the statute by that citation we were given or by its popular name, but let's walk through this, how you would do it if you didn't have either of these. So we'll begin by running a search for family medical leave. From here, we'll want to click Statutes and Legislation, and then narrow it down to codes, specifically the USCS. These are all the codified United States codes, and as the Family and Medical Leave is a federal act, this is where it would be. And here we have it, 29 USCS 2612. The first thing you should do in familiarizing yourself with a statute is to read the plain language. In other words, come and look through the text. As we do this, we would see that 2612 A1C is where it actually discusses "in order to care for." It's something we would want to make a note of. After we've read the plain language, we would want to see how cases have interpreted and applied the statute itself. To do that, we would come up to Go To and select Case Notes. As an annotated statute, this is going to have things like case notes, where we have broken down specific sections listing major cases discussing that topic. So as we can see here for case note topic 7, what constitutes care? That's likely something we would want to look into. By selecting 7, we can come and see all of those cases. Now that we've gotten a better understanding of the statute, we would want to be sure to shepherdize it. Over here on the right-hand side, we'll select Shepherdize this document. Now, a unique feature of Shepard's is the ability to look at what are known as subsection reports. As we noticed earlier, we're only interested in section A1C. So, if we select subsection reports, we can then search until we find the portion where the courts have cited specifically to 2612A1C. From here, we can now use the citing decisions to find case law that is analyzed, explained, or otherwise cited to the section of the code we're interested in. We could further filter by jurisdiction or court and search within results to find particular phrases, for example, the phrase needed to care for. So, with S out of the way, let's move on to the R and the A. Regulations and administrative material. Now, when researching a federal statute, the applicable sources of administrative law include the Federal Register, which records the daily activities of federal agencies and departments, the Code of Federal Regulations, which is a codified version of the final rules and regulations from the Federal Register, and any binding agency decisions. So, going back to our search, we will want to select administrative codes and regulations. Furthermore, based off the knowledge we gain from our research of the statute, let's go ahead and refine our search to include the term in order to care for. From here, we'll narrow it down specifically to the CFR, as we mentioned earlier, and then we'll want to take a look at the titles of the different regulations, looking for those that'll be useful to us. As we come through, we'll find the title here, needed to care for a family member or covered service member. We can access that regulation and see how it applies. Once in the CFR, you also want to go ahead and check out the table of contents to view more regulations on the topic. The next thing we'll want to do is come back out to our results list and move to administrative materials. Administrative materials is where you're going to find your agency decisions or guidelines. So, let's go ahead and search within our results for that term we just ran across in our CFR, needed to care for. From here, you can select a specific agency, for example, the Department of Labor, or if you're unsure of what agency to select, you can look to specific sources and see if there's one specifically relevant to you. For example, we have the Family Medical Leave Act opinion letters. So we could go ahead and narrow it down to that specific source and read opinion letters from different agencies, in this instance, the Department of Labor, discussing our specific statute. The final place you'll want to look is cases. Although we've already found some cases through our case notes, Shepard's, and footnotes, you should always go ahead and run a term search to ensure that your research is thorough. So, by applying SRAC, remember statute, regulations, administrative material, cases, researching statutes can be a breeze. So, after reviewing your findings, your supervising attorney has decided to take on the client and file a complaint. She would like you to draft one to be filed by close of business on Friday. You may not realize this, but Lexis provides access to millions. Again, that's millions of continually updated forms as well as samples of pleadings. Not only will this save you time, but it'll ensure that everything necessary for filing is included. So, to access a complaint, Let's go ahead and run our original search, FMLA and leave requirements. From here, we're going to want to select briefs, pleadings, and motions, and then further narrow it down to the category pleadings. We now have a list of complaints that we can access to see what was alleged in other filings, as well as get formatting help by accessing the original source image under the About This document. You're now well on your way to be accounting among the 5% because you know how to leverage Lexis's extensive treatise offerings for unfamiliar areas of law, use the SRAC method for statutory and regulatory research, and complete drafting assignments with the assistance of sample pleadings and forms. And don't worry, Lexis provides you with unlimited access to your law school ID during your summer internships. So everything you've seen today, you can do. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You could contact me at zachary.gibbons@LexisNexis.com, whether it's during the school year or over summer. Additionally, you'll have a Lexis rep at your place of employment, my commercial counterpart, or of course our 24/7 customer support hotline. I wish you all the best of luck with your summer internships.